SVA, a professional services company.
Get up, get out of here, and way gone!
Cannon and Dunphy, Loyal Family Renovations, Lakeland University, Lynch Automotive, Z-Bart, and Network Health on the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ.
As you're cheering on your favorite team, leave your home comfort to Carrier. Whether it's keeping your current heating and cooling system running smoothly or upgrading to a new one, your local Carrier dealer has got you covered. Plus, now is the perfect time to step up your comfort game with the Carrier Home Comfort System. Receive tax credits of up to $2,600 when you choose a qualifying Carrier heating and cooling system. Turn to the experts at Carrier and ask about tax credits, local rebates, and financing available for qualified buyers. Carrier, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Find your local dealer at carriermilwaukee.com.
Check out our brand new Hyundai dealership, one of the largest in the Midwest.
Step inside of our state-of-the-art showroom where you can view our new Hyundai models and some of our finest certified pre-owned.
We've also expanded our service center, staffed by our factory-certified technicians.
And right next door, we've started construction on our all-new Genesis of Waukesha dealership.
But we're not just building walls, we're building careers.
So if you're looking for a career with great benefits and opportunity for growth, Boucher is the place for you.
At Boucher, we ride with you every mile.
Al Feckler, attorney at Cannon and Dunphy.
I'm often asked, what happens if I have a pre-existing condition when I get injured? The most important thing I tell our clients is that you can't deny the pre-existing condition. Just be honest. Being truthful matters. If you're wrongly injured and you've had a pre-existing condition, you have to be able to talk about how the new injury is different.
To learn more, go to the Cannon and Dunphy website or see Al on Instagram.
4! You've got to work on that swing, Jack.
Well, I get time now that the business is running efficiently.
Oh, yeah? How'd you make that happen?
SVA. They showed me how to analyze my financial statements to increase revenue and profit margins and control expenses. The value of the business has never been higher. And now I've got more time to work on my golf game.
Nice. Maybe make time for lessons, too.
At SVA Certified Public Accountants, we pride ourselves in providing business owners with measurable results. Visit sva.com/golf to learn more.
Get up! Get out of here and go!
Covering the Crew all season long on WTMJ, it's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee at the Avenue. Here is your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
It was stressful, and it maybe took one more inning than everybody expected. But the Brewers are 1-0 against the St. Louis Cardinals in 2024, and they're 1-0 in extra innings. Hi, everybody. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. 2-1 the final tonight. William Contreras gets the better of big brother Wilson. He gets both RBIs. Of course, the game winner in the top of the 10th inning. Freddie Peralta was terrific once again, and Hobie Milner gets his first career save in the big league. So a lot to hit on today. 855-616-1620. Again, 855-616-1620 is the call and text on if you want to join us on a Friday night. Again, I'm Dom. Pleased to be joined by former Brewers pitcher Jerry Augustine here. And Augie, before we get into some of the minutia and the details of this game, the Brewers, this kind of felt like 2023 in a way, just to grind it out, gosh, white knuckle, hang on for dear life, and get her done in the end.
Well, you know, after we win the big game on Wednesday, you get that 1-0 bullpen shutout. You look at tonight, and you got Freddie on the mound. You got to feel good about the way he's been pitching. He's been their number one guy, and Gibson really threw the ball well for St. Louis. It was a good game all the way up, but you know, you look at this ball game, and what does it come down to? Pitching and defense and some tough decisions by managers, and it came out that the Brewers made the right decisions and came out with a 2-1 win. A big win for the Brewers. A good way to start the series and the road trip.
Yeah, and let's get to some of those manager conversations here as well. Let me just start with the Yoel Piamps conversation. A lot of folks are making the assumption of he didn't have enough time to warm up. What were they doing? Why did they leave him out to dry like that? Let me just set the stage here real quick. I agree in part, but a reminder, this is the third time in the last 4 calendar days that Yoel pitched. He pitched the last 2 games against San Diego. He probably didn't need to pitch on Tuesday, but he hadn't pitched in 4 days. And you had the off day yesterday, of course. But also, I also want to remind you that this was nobody on, 2 outs, McGill looking A-OK. And then in the blink of an eye, a 2-out walk, and then a base hit up the middle while the runner is going, and it puts men on the corners. It literally happened in the span of 2 pitches. So Pat Murphy was faced with the decision. Do I let it ride with Trevor McGill, who's clearly out of gas, or do I go get Yoel Payamps and hopefully he can warm up in time on the game mound? Obviously, both of those things did not work out, and the Brewers had to go to a 10th inning to win this game. But what did you make of Yoel Payamps coming into the 9th inning?
Well, I think that's where you get it. It's a tough decision, you know. But all these managers, all the managers in baseball know their pitchers, and the pitching coaches all know how long it takes a guy to warm up. So I think what Murph was trying to do was giving him as much time as he could to warm up. And usually when you get in these situations late in the game, after you get into the season a little bit, you can get ready in 7 or 8 pitches. Everybody's just a little bit different, but it was a little bit of a rush job for Payamps there. I thought it was a good decision to bring him in. I think right now when you look at McGill, he had been out for several days with a head concussion and not pitching for a while. And it looked like he was running out of gas. To bring Payamps in that situation was a good idea. It didn't work out what you want, but I think the amount of time that he had to warm up may have had a little bit to do with it. But most of these guys, these pitchers know that if they have an opportunity, they have to be mentally prepared to come in the game. But not only that, they all know how long it takes for them to warm up, how many pitches they need to throw in the bullpen before they're ready. And maybe Payamps thought he was ready by that time.
And I hate bringing up the old guy's name and saying Voldemort's name, but this is what Craig Counsell did better than anybody. He always had a plan for his bullpen 3-4 steps ahead. I'm not saying Pat Murphy did not have a plan for his bullpen. The plan tonight was stay away from Yoel Payamps as long as he could, and he couldn't. In my opinion, what I would have done, and again, I'm not the manager, I'm sitting here with an armchair, I get it, and it's annoying, I hate doing this. If there was anybody that was going to throw multiple innings today, for me, it would have been Elvis Peguero. Because in the event he runs out of gas in the 8th inning, then everything gets moved back. McGill can come in there, and it's always tough to get that up-down, right? It's always tough to kind of have that adrenaline flush out of your body, sit, wait, then get back out there, right? That's the hardest thing for relievers. I know you spent a big portion of your career as a starter and then in the latter half as a reliever. There's something to that, right? There is a flush. Can you paint that picture for us?
No, it is, and I think it's just a matter of how much you want to throw a guy. And I think when you're looking at the Peguero type situation, you know, you're starting this series with St. Louis, and you if you can, you'd want to use him more than one day out of this series as you get along after you have Freddie Peralta. But I thought it was a good idea to get Peguero in there. You could have gone a little bit longer with him and then shorten the Miguel thing. Staff because he hadn't pitched in a while. That's a train of thought. But Miguel came in and he's been throwing the ball so well before he had the little concussion incident and had to sit on the sides a little bit. And he's the kind of guy that you get late in the ball games has been throwing real well. I still think Payamps was the right guy to bring in. I thought maybe he was rushed a little bit. I think he's the guy you want to put in that situation to put out the fire and move on to the net, move on from there. But it didn't quite work out the way he wanted. And every once in a while, kind of jumped the gun a little bit. But I think all bullpen guys understand that they'll have an opportunity to come in the game unless they're told they're shut down. And mentally, that's a big part of it. It's just a matter of how long does it take you to prepare to come in the game and be ready to pitch and be ready to throw strikes and get ahead of hitters and get through that inning.
So that was a massive decision. And a reminder, the Brewers are adjusting these first 3 weeks of the season without Devin Williams. A reminder, as I've said over and over on this show, what it's like to have a generational closer back-to-back, it feels like. And when you suddenly have questions in the 9th inning, how much of a luxury that all was. So that's just a quick reminder here. It's not going to be this way all season, hopefully. But let me flip things here over on the other side. I was shocked, absolutely shocked here, Augie, that Oli Marmol was okay to pitch to William Contreras. To set the stage, top of the 10th, placed runner is on second base with 2 outs. Willy Adames is on deck, and I know Willie's off to a good start of the season. But I'm just going to be completely honest. I know they're both poison in the eyes of Oli Marmol. Pick your poison, they're both poison. But if I have an opportunity to not pitch to William Contreras, I'm not going to. He has been the MVP of the Brewers and maybe of the National League to this point in the year. I was flabbergasted that they did not intentionally walk him.
It kind of surprised me. I think when you look at Contreras, especially if you follow what the Brewers have been doing lately, when you look at any time that the Brewers have been able to put runs on the board or need a run or need a big hit or need a big rally started, Contreras has been in the middle of it. And he's been that game changer when you talk about players on a team that really have a positive effect on you. And it kind of did surprise me because if there's one guy in the lineup that was putting the ball in play, hitting the ball to all fields, he was that guy. And he's the one guy in the lineup that you have to fear because he's come up with so many big hits for this ball club since the season started. In the last several games, he's been very, very important. So it kind of surprised me. I think the Adames thing of Willie's been come up with some big hits. He's hitting 300, swinging the bat pretty well. That might have had a little effect on it, but pitching to Contreras right there kind of surprised me, especially at that time in the ball game.
Yeah, in the road team in extra innings, they're always trying to get the second run. Your priority is Blake Perkins on second base, and obviously the single up the middle got things done. For the Brewers side of things, in the bottom of the 10th inning, them intentionally walking Wilson, maybe the old school way of thinking here is like, wait a minute, you're walking the winning run on base. What are you doing? But the weight of it, to me, is like, if I pitch to Wilson Contreras, who's the hottest hitter in the Cardinals and the only hitter that I'm actually afraid of in the Cardinals lineup right now, he can end the game at any moment. I don't even want him swinging the bat. And Pat Murphy handled that test well. As much as we criticize what happened in the ninth inning, I thought he handled that perfectly. He put the 4 up immediately as soon as he saw Wilson get announced.
Well, you look at what he did in the game. He's on base 4 times. You look at the at-bats. He had a big base hit. But the at-bats, you got to look at what he did. He fought off some really good pitches throughout the ball game. He's the kind of guy that you just don't want to hurt you right now. He's a guy, when you look at Goldschmidt and Arenado, they're both struggling a little bit right now. And another case there, you look at who's hitting behind him. Gorman was hitting behind him. He had already struck out in the 6th inning off of Freddie with the bases loaded, and he struck out a couple other times tonight. So here's the guy who's struggling right now. Who do I going to go to? I'm going to go to a Contreras, who's their leading hitter, who's had some really good at-bats tonight, or am I going to go to Gorman, who's really struggled, and we've been able to get out and get him out? I thought Pat Murphy made a great move right there.
That was massive. Let me get to a few texts here before we head to our first break of the night. When is the last time a catcher won the MVP? William Contreras could be on his way. He is so clutch. And Milner looks like he's back. That's one from Doug and Baraboo. To answer your question there, Doug, Buster Posey won the MVP in his peak years in 2012. He also won the Silver Slugger that year, which was the year that, if I'm not mistaken, he stole it from Lucroy. Anyway, he won the MVP. He's the last catcher to win MVP, but that's a very good question, and maybe that could be something to do there. Just how you draw it up, Dom. Always a blood game with the Cardinals. Fantastic start by Freddie. He deserved the win. He is a Cy Young candidate so far, and Contreras an MVP candidate as well. Congrats to Hobie on his first MLB save from Arlington, Illinois. Let me get to a few more of these texts in just a little bit. Also, a remind you that Brewers Extra Innings all season long is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. With a local Milwaukee team, Fifth Third Bank also knows how to hit it out of the park. They've been serving businesses in the area for nearly 15 years, offering industry-specific expertise and local decision-making capabilities to help your business succeed. This is commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC. Let's shift over to Augie's expertise after the break. We're talking some pitching after this on WTMJ.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
All Brewers games are on sale now. Coming up, a weekend showdown with the Yankees, Friday, April 26th through Sunday, the 28th. Start the series with Friday's hockey night. Then take home a limited edition Brewers City Connect Tumbler Cup at the game on Saturday, the 27th. Presented by Quick Trip. Don't miss out on a marquee weekend of baseball. Grab your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Our video interview tool makes it easy and effortless to meet with candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
The phone number to text in or call in is 855-616-1620. Again, 855-616-1620. I got a few texts here about some strategy and about terrain. We'll get into those in just a little bit. I'm Dominic Cotroneo here with Jerry Augustine once again. I've also got my Twitter poll up, who had the player of the game poll. Right now, William Contreras is leading that with 51% of the vote. Freddie's in second at 37%. Got about 250 votes in right now. A few of the responses there from our own colleague, Vince Vetrano, here on WTMJ. Freddie pitched so well, but Contreras versus Contreras, and little brother wins the day. Aaron, once again, not really a bad choice, so tough to keep the home team off the board with a man on second. Congrats to Hobie on his first MLB save, but I picked Freddie because it's just so difficult to pitch 6 scoreless innings and a great play at the plate. Let's talk about Freddie here, Augie, because in my opinion, from my observation, I don't think Freddie had his best stuff tonight. And yet you look up at the board, 6 shutout innings, only 4 hits allowed, and 7 strikeouts. Do you think I'm onto something there? I mean, this dude's pitching like an ace. Even without his best stuff, he can get by a big league lineup.
Well, you know, he's in that situation now where he's been able to come into the game and adjust. We see the maturation of Freddie Peralta over the last several years. Is we all knew he's got great stuff. He's got that electric fastball. He's known as Fastball Freddie, but it's really the breaking ball and the changeup and the complement, how they complement the rest of the stuff. But the way he dominates the strike zone, I just think it's been phenomenal. He's been able to make the adjustments during the game, saying, if I don't have my stuff, I still know what I can do. If I hit the strike zone, I keep the ball down with my good fastball, elevate my four-seam fastball, and use my breaking ball effectively, I can still be successful. And I agree with you. I don't think he had his best stuff tonight, but he had stuff enough to know when he needed to reach back to get that little extra, he could go back and get it, and it really paid off. Pitch number 100, I thought was a play of the game when he struck out Gorman with the bases loaded 3-2. I thought that was one of the huge plays in the game, but also the play at home plate, his hustle, getting the home plate and getting Contreras out was huge. But just the way he goes out and battles and understands that if he commands a strike zone, gets ahead of hitters, he can keep his team in the ball game, and he's done that all year.
Looking at some of the numbers a little bit deeper now, Freddie threw 100 pitches on the nose. 56 of them were strikes, so easy percentage there, 56%, a little lower than what his normal rate is, but what really jumped out to me was the slider today was not its normal self. Kind of a coldish, cool, raw night. Ball wasn't carrying well. Maybe he was having trouble with the grip. We saw a few hangers, a few spinners out there. He threw 29 sliders tonight, Augie. Only 12 of them were strikes, and of those 12 strikes, 3 of them were whiffs, so they had 8 swings on those 12 strikes. So they were seeing it well and trying to attack it. I was a little worried about that, but otherwise, you know, he got a total of 13 swings and misses today. 6 of them in his last inning of work. Like you said, having a little bit extra in the tank today. And he is Fastball Freddie, but I think people need to start paying attention, like you said, to his secondary stuff. He has continued to develop that better and better as time has gone on.
Yeah, there's no question. You know, I think, Dom, when we still talk about Freddie, I always call him the carnival because he can give you so much. He can give you the great fastball. He's got that off-speed stuff, and he's really fun to watch because he comes right at you from that cross, throws across his body, that angle. I thought tonight he maybe was jumping out a little bit with his breaking ball. And one of the things, when you're a type of pitcher like Freddie Peralta, most pitchers are described as either a tall and tall, they stay upright like a lot of pitchers are, like Colin Ray. He's a up and down pitcher. He just stays real tall, goes to the plate. A lot of the bullpen guys do the same thing. Freddie's a little different. He drives to the plate. He gets out and he extends to the plate. And when you do that every once in a while, your release point changes on your off-speed stuff. And I thought tonight maybe he was jumping a little bit, tried to overthrow it maybe at times, or tried to locate it too good at times, and it just wasn't there like it had been in the past. But that's going to come and go. But again, we go back to Freddie Peralta, the ability to make adjustments of what you have working for you that night, using that fastball competitively, and that's what he continues to do, and that's what makes him successful.
The stat that really jumps out to me, though, here is so he allowed 6 base runners total tonight. 4 of them reached with 2 strikes, so he was getting ahead and working counts very, very well. And he also did not allow an extra base hit tonight. And he did have the 4-pitch walk to Wilson Contreras, but again, being smart, being careful, picking his spots against the Cardinals' best hitter, and then took his chances with Nolan Gorham and struck him out to end the game at 94 miles an hour. I was so impressed going back to what he does best. When your back is against the wall, go back to what you do best and get the fastball. Another guy that went back to what he does best is Hobie Milner in that 10th inning. Went back to the curveball to freeze Gorman. I mean, he had the 2 biggest at-bats of the day, right? Striking out with the bases loaded in the 6th and striking out with the tying run on 3rd and the winning run on 2nd base in the 10th inning. He had the golden sombrero tonight, 4 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. And Hobie Milner dropping the curveball, getting him looking. There's no better feeling than that to get your first big league save.
Well, it's big. It's being able to locate the ball. We saw when Hobie Miller tonight came in with one of the hitters he struck out, he threw the ball on the outside part of the plate. When you throw the ball from Hobie Milner, the angle that he throws, you can pitch the inside part of the plate on left-hand hitters or away from right-hand hitters. That's your dominant side that you can usually throw the ball and have very good control of. But when Hobie Miller is on, and when he's throwing the ball very good, he can really dominate that outside fastball to left-hand hitters as well as inside on right-hand hitters. That makes that breaking ball that much more effective. He went to that breaking ball. The breaking ball I thought was as good as he's had it all year. I thought the breaking ball was a little bit sharper, and he had better mastery of it tonight than he has had in the past. But kudos to Hobie Milner. You come in to get your first save of your career. It's a special night. And I'll tell you what, he came in a tough situation, and he did a great job by getting that first guy out. And when you look at it, when he had Arenado coming on with the out, now he could work Arenado wherever he wanted, got Arenado to ground the ball out. Then he was in a good position after walking Contreras to get Gorman out, and he did just that.
It was very impressive stuff, to say the least. Very quietly, and I know that they've had a little bit of tribulation here, especially waiting on McGill to return, but the Brewers' bullpen has been pretty solid as of late. In fact, this goes back to last Friday, opening the series in Baltimore. The Brewers' bullpen, over their last 7 games, has thrown 30 2/3 innings, has only allowed 6 runs. Now, I know a few of those runs have come in crunch time, and who cares if they've only got a 1.76 ERA if all those runs are being scored at that time. But I still remind folks, this is not the full-strength bullpen. Just getting McGill back today was huge. I imagine Brian Hudson's going to be hot tomorrow. I imagine we'll see maybe Hobie go back-to-back tomorrow. The bullpen has quietly, maybe it's not the same names or the same dominance that we're used to, the bullpen has quietly put together a very good week of games to stabilize things as the pitching staff. You had the short start by Wade, you had a bullpen day on Wednesday, you had DL Hall struggle in Baltimore. I've been really happy with what the bullpen's done overall.
Yeah, I think it's very good. I think this is going to be one of the best bullpens in all of baseball. They have so many guys out there that can do so many things, and everybody's just a little bit different, but everybody throws strikes, and I think that's what's going to be so important. I think anytime, Dom, you go into a season, and it's no matter whether you've got new guys or your guys been there before, it's still that takes that time to get that continuity in that bullpen to figure out how you're going to use a guy. Who's going to be that stopper that's going to come in after the starter and shut down an inning or give you a 0 on the board? Or who's going to be that setup guy before your Devin Williams that comes in to end the game? It takes a little bit of time. And now when you don't have Devin Williams there, you're not 100% healthy in that bullpen. You got to make adjustments. And I think that's what Murph is trying to do. He's trying to figure out who he can put in the position to be the best he can be at that time. And I think this is all going to pay off as the season goes along. Everybody's going to find their spot. Everybody's going to have continuity and understand what they're going to do. It's only going to make this bullpen better. And I think you and I talked about it last time, how guys can go multi-innings, how important that is. And we saw it tonight what it could have been with McGill coming out for the 9th inning. So those things are going to all change this year. There's going to be a little bit of a change. There's going to be some trials and errors and things are going to happen, but I still believe that this bullpen is going to be very good and one of the best in all of baseball.
I agree. Let me get to a few more Twitter responses here as well. William gets my vote this one from Brew Crew Stan. He continues to be a stable bat in this lineup no matter if the guys around him are struggling. And a couple of all of the above votes coming from Steve and from Three Oaks as well. So this has been a fun poll tonight. Let's talk about the offense before we cut you loose, Augie. That's going to come up on the other side of this break. 855-616-1620. Again, 855-616-1620 as the Brewers adjust to life without Yelly. What does that mean, and what do the numbers tell us? Stay with us after this on WTMJ.
On deck, more Brewers Extra Innings.
Well, if you need flagstone for your new natural patio, Erickson's is the place to find it. We have the largest selection and 15 styles to choose from. And for decorative stone, Erickson's is your best choice. Our decorative stone is trucked in from all over the country. We buy straight from the quarry and cut out the middleman to keep your prices nice and low. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. So he said to me, "Boy, oh boy, do you got the boulders." And I said, "You betcha." And he said, "Do you mind if I cherry pick?" And I said, "Feel free. They're all beautiful and they're all granite. Sparkling pinks, blues, and grays from 4 to 36 inches. And they're all priced right. Because we buy direct from the source nationwide to give you the look you want. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
I'll say it again. Our mission is to protect and uphold our reputation. And what that means is wherever we go, we make it better for those in need of our services and the great people we have working with us. Our reputation matters. It matters to us, and it should matter to you. We believe that operating with integrity will set us apart from our competitors, and that this attracts people to us that share these same values. I say this because I want you to know when you work with Semper Fi, character counts. It's why you can count on the industry's hands-down best lifetime workmanship warranty that now includes free annual inspections. And it's why we always have one project manager per job, which is absolutely not the industry standard. When you're paying for a brand new roof to go on what's likely the biggest investment you have, you want it done right, and you want to be able to count on the people doing it. This is Brad Youngwith with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company.
Keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Let's get to some data, some hard reality data. Brewers win in 10, 2-1 the final. But life without Christian Yelich hasn't been super pretty. Before we do that, I want to remind you that Brewers Extra Innings is also brought to you in part by Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Summer is right around the corner, and now through June 15th, Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical is offering over $1,500 off central air systems. Again, $1,500 off central air systems. You can schedule an appointment today at cider.com. That's SEIDER.com. Brewers scored 2 runs today, Augie, in 10 innings. They score 1 run yesterday in 9 innings, or rather on Wednesday, and they win that one. Life without Christian Yelich hasn't been great. And in fact, over the last week since he was removed from the game last Friday, so the last 7 full games, here's the run totals for them. 2 today, 1 on Wednesday, 3 on Tuesday, 3 on Monday, 4 on Sunday. They did score 11 on Saturday without Yelly, but you add all of that up, and you're sitting here thinking, oh, man, what's going wrong with the offense right now?
Yeah, there's certain hitters that, mean a lot to you. All go back to the days of Ryan Braun, how much he meant to lineup. It's not a matter of who Ryan Braun is and what he was hitting. It's just the effect that he has on the other hitters. And Christian Yelich is that guy. He's that guy in the lineup that he does all the things that you need to do as a hitter that can help your ball club. He'll take a walk. He can steal bases. He runs the bases well. He can hit for average. He can hit for power. Those style guys, it's like you talk about a 5-tool guy in a game of baseball. At the plate, they're just that more important because the team relies on him. He did it last year to starting as a leadoff hitter. This year they put him in the third spot in the lineup. He's made that adjustment. But it still comes down to you're going to go through times when you're not going to swing the bat well. And Yelly means so much to this ball club, and that's going to happen. Those things are going to happen. But it's about somebody new every day, and that's what we've seen. We've seen big guys come up in different situations. Right now, the shoulders of of Contreras have been heavy because everybody's sitting on him because he's doing so much helping his ball club. But each and every night we're seeing guys come through. We're seeing guys like Blake Perkins come and swinging the bat. Terrain's getting on base. Even Frelick tonight, he was 0 for 1, but he got on base twice versus a walk. So getting on base, allowing things to happen are important. It just needs different guys at different times in a game have to step up, and doesn't make a difference who it is. They have to do it, but Adames does mean so much to this ball club.
I agree. This one from Tom in South Dakota. It was me, Tom, who coined the Murphy's Masters nickname. Well, since then, buddy, they haven't been scoring. I'm just kidding. 5.5 runs per game thus far, but still missing Yelly big time. I agree, Tom. Appreciate the text here as well. And on the Frelick note, I mean, I don't want to be armchair manager all night on this show. I get why they pulled Frelick for Liberator in a 1-0 game in the 7th inning for the left-on-left. But you had to figure if the Brewers were going to get any sort of rally, Sal was going to come back up, and all the leverage arms are going to be right-handed. I was a little surprised by pulling Sal there, even on his birthday, goodness. But I'll let Murphy stick with that decision because he's been pretty consistent at pulling Sal Frelick against tough left-handed pitching. But the rest of this lineup, another guy I want to highlight, we've highlighted him before, Blake Perkins. Blake Perkins, 2 hits today, 2 for 4, both of them doubles. He scored, of course, both of the runs today as well out of the 8th spot. The Brewers are going to have a really hard decision coming up when Garrett Mitchell returns coming up in about a month and a half time or so. Because if Blake Perkins keeps on this pace, look, he's not going to hit 350 all year. But if Blake Perkins continues to put bat on ball and play Gold Glove caliber center field, it's going to be a very, very crowded outfield.
Well, you got to give him all the credit because the season started and he was used only at times on the defensive side, and then he got his chance. And when he got his chance, he's gone out and produced. And what was tonight, like his 6th straight start? And every time he's been in the game, he's helped the ball club in some different way. He plays really good defense. He gets great jumps on the ball. He understands where the ball's got to go when there's a runner on base, where to throw the ball, and how to play good, strong defense. But on the offensive side, coming up with some big hits, getting good at-bats, getting on base when you have to. He's really showing something, and you're right. When Garrett Mitchell comes back, he's going to make the Brewers think about what direction they're going to go. But he's got to figure in, you got to have a guy like that on your ball club who can jump in, understands his job, and goes and does it each and every day. And I'll tell you, Blake Perkins has been fantastic the last week or so because he's done a great job.
He's got a 400 on base right now in 11 games. He's got 3 multi-hit games and only 2 hitless games, and he's reached base in all but 1 game of those 11 for the Brewers. I just wanted to make sure we shouted him out and make sure he got some love here on the show. Another text came in here asking about Bryce Terang. Why didn't he steal to avoid the double play in the 9th inning when Gary Sanchez hitting to his 2nd double play? I was looking at the release times. Fernandez was a 1-4, so that's kind of right on the edge of a number that you want to steal on, meaning how long he takes to get to the plate. And I know St. Louis has only caught 1 runner so far this year. It seems like the decisions haven't been working out so far with keeping Sanchez. It's still early for Gary. I don't want to pull the plug on that yet, but I think for a guy that the anticipation was he was going to be DHing a lot more than he has. I don't think the Brewers were anticipating Reese needing to DH as much as he had. And maybe you'll see more of Gary this weekend given Jake Bauers is unfortunately on the bereavement list. But again, today for Gary, he went 0 for 4 with 2 double plays in key spots. He's now just 3 for 28 to start the season with the 1 home run in Baltimore. I'm not hitting the panic button or pulling the parachute yet here for Gary Sanchez, but we're kind of getting toward the end of the month here, and it's starting to feel like Luke Voigt again.
You got to get some at bats, and I think the one thing Murphy's saying that here, you just said whatever he's hitting 3 for 28 or whatever it was. You got to give a veteran, a guy who's been around, who's been able to swing the bat, has been pretty good behind the plate. You got to give them opportunity. You got to find out what's going to happen. He was late coming into spring training, didn't have all the at bats that he probably would have normally had if he had been there from the start. So I think what they're being is being a little patient and seeing where he fits in this ball club. When you put together a ball club, everybody's got a place, everybody's got a job, and a guy like Sanchez could really help this ball club. But they got to figure out how does he fit, what is he going to do, where can he help this ball club, and that's going to be interesting to see. And part of the puzzle they have to figure out to see what happens from this time on.
Like I wonder if he's going to catch tomorrow and William is going to DH, and then William back behind the plate on Sunday for Sonny Gray as they're in the middle of another 13 in a row, something to decide. I'm not, like I said, I am not pulling the plug. We know what Gary can do when he gets going. I'm just finding a hard time getting him enough at bats. And the Brewers are in the midst right now. This series, of course, not facing a lefty. They're going to face 3 consecutive righties. Just trying to get into my crystal ball here and look ahead to what's coming for the Pirates coming up next week, a 4-game set. I see 4 more righties most likely coming up next week as well, so maybe that natural spot for him to be a DH against left-handed pitching, which is what he was originally brought. Maybe we'll see Bailey falter next week, so that'd be the one lefty maybe we finally see him break this streak, but you're right. He needs at-bats, and it's hard to hit in the big leagues without consistent at-bats, but I'm going to give it a little bit more time before we make a definitive call on Gary.
I agree with you, Dom. I think you just got to give him some time. Plus, they wanted to face left-handed pitching, and the Brewers haven't had a lot of opportunities with left-hand starters. So it's going to be interesting. Is he going to fit into the part of the puzzle? Is he going to fit where we need him? He's that capable of doing it. He's the kind of guy that been and played in the big-time games, and he could really help you. It's just going to see how does this all play out, and where does it go in the future. And we'll see as he gets more at-bats what he can do with the ball, help this ball club out a lot more than he has.
Yeah, he's only had 5 plate appearances against lefties this season. All right, Game 2 tomorrow will be a day game at 1:15. You've got the day off, Augie, but you'll be back with us on Sunday. Appreciate your insight as always, my friend, and we look forward to chat with you at the end of the weekend.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Great way to start the road trip. Go, you play inside the division. We always talk about you got to win inside the division. Brewers start that tonight. It was a great ball game for the Brewers.
Great ball game. Always great to beat the Redbirds. Appreciate you as always, Augie.
Great to be with you.
All right, Jerry Augustine here on Brewers Extra Innings. Get to a few more of these texts here and some tweets that have rolled in. 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. Come on in, hang out. We're going to hear from Pat Murphy a little bit later on and some highlights later, too. Stay with us, WTMJ.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ. Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Outdoor Living Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. At 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Trust in your family's comfort at home with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. They're the oldest family-owned HVAC company in southeast Wisconsin. 4 generations of Ciders, and their highly trained technicians provide a one-stop shop for all home and business comfort needs, including an emergency service line that's always live and a 12-year parts and labor warranty on all Daikin products. Get peace of mind by scheduling maintenance today with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. That's SEIDER, cider.com.
Carole King, one of the most beloved and successful songwriters of all time.
I feel the earth move under my feet.
The Fireside Theater presents Tony and Grammy Award-winning Beautiful, the Carole King musical. Her story from 18-year-old songwriter of Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow to writing hits for the biggest acts in music to the trailblazing success of her album Tapestry.
And it's too late, baby, now it's too late.
Beautiful features such unforgettable classics as Pleasant Valley Sunday, We Gotta Get Out of This Place, You've Lost That Love and Feeling, On Broadway, The Locomotion, and of course, Unnatural Woman.
You make me feel like a natural woman.
Every ticket to the Fireside includes memorable dining, spectacular gift shops, and free parking. Order your tickets now. Call 920-563-9505 or visit firesidetheater.com. Beautiful, the Carole King musical, through May 26th, only at the Fireside Theater.
I'm excited to be joined by my friend Jill Kreider. She is the president of Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Tell me kind of about the mission of Azura.
Our mission is to transform the culture of care, have a secure place, live a quality of life that maybe they don't have currently.
When I'm at an Azura facility, it feels like home.
Having team members that really care about people is number one.
Thank you for what you do for our community. Thank you for what you do for the people that live in the community.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Welcome back. I'm Dominic Petronio. Let's get back to that player of the game poll. This was a fun one. Brewers win 2-1 in 10 innings today. They open up 1-0 against the Cardinals this season. Player of the game poll, over 300 votes. It's still William, but it's starting to tighten a little bit. Only 10 minutes left to vote. If you're still listening, if you haven't voted yet, 48% to William, 39% to Freddie, and 11% to Hobie. So good little mix there. William, of course, scoring the 2 runs, or driving in the 2 runs, certainly mattered for this one. Another text that came in asking, do you think the Brewers will make a trade for some starting pitching at some point? That one is from Bob. I struggle with this one because, A, there isn't a lot of good starting pitching available in this year's free agent class that's realistically available, right? I'm not talking the Max Frieds and the Corbin Burns and the Nate Eovaldi's. I mean, those guys are on expiring deals, but they're not going to be available to the Brewers at a trade deadline. So if you're getting somebody with multiple years of control, it's going to be a pretty penny. And obviously they've got a logjam in the outfield they have to figure out, but I wouldn't say no to it, absolutely. But a reminder that Jacob Junis is due back hopefully sometime in early May at this rate, mid-May, if things continue to go well. He is throwing long toss flat grounds right now. He has not yet got off of mound. He'll have to build back up on a rehab assignment too. So there's certainly a candidate. Aaron Ashby is eligible to come back to the big leagues coming up next week if they so choose to go back to a 6-man rotation. You've also got Jansen Junk and now Tobias Myers available on the 40-man roster for spot starts as needed. But, yes, I'm always going to listen to starting pitching. I'm always going to listen to that, see if the Brewers can make a deal to try to create some more depth out of the most valuable position in baseball. And remember, in the future, some of the guys that Brewers fans will certainly get to know, guys like Robert Gasser, who's injured right now. The Brewers expect him to make his big league debut at some point this year. He had bone spurs in his elbow, awaiting a further diagnosis and an actual rehab plan for Gasser. Carlos Rodriguez, who's not on the 40-man roster yet, but he'll be added to the 40-man this coming offseason for Rule 5 protection. Another guy that comes to mind, of course, Jacob Mizorowski, or the guy that they acquired from the Red Sox last year, Bradley Blaylock, who's off to a great start in Double-A right now. Those are 2 names that you can remember. And also don't forget a guy like Coleman Crowe, a name that no one's really talked about. Coleman Crowe was acquired in the trade from the Mets this past offseason in the Tyrone Taylor-Adrian Hauser deal. He's recovering from Tommy John surgery, and a few scouts that I've talked to have really, really liked what they've seen from Coleman Crowe, and we'll see if he gets protected on the 40-man this coming offseason. But these are all things that have to be weighed. All right, you're going to block somebody from arriving a little bit sooner than, or block somebody from arriving if you go acquire somebody. But again, as I've said before, I am never going to say no to pitching depth, especially in 2024. Some other things to note around the league today here on this busy Friday, a doubleheader down at Wrigley as the Cubs won Game 1 over the Marlins. I'm looking for the final scores here right now. 8-3 for Game 1. They will play, or rather they just had a day game today. They'll play a split doubleheader tomorrow. Other games that happened today, the Royals beat the Orioles. Royals have been fantastic. They win 9-4. Braves had a huge day from Travis d'Arnaud over the Rangers, 8-3. d'Arnaud hit 3 homers in that one. Juan Soto hit a homer for the Yankees. They're the next home opponent for the Brewers a week from today. Yankees over the Rays by a 5-3 final. In the Central Division, the Pirates lost at home to the Red Sox 8-1. The Reds won at home over the Angels 7-1. That's a quick peek around the scoreboard. Another reminder that Brewers Extra Innings all season long is brought to you in part by Fifth Third Bank. They also know how to hit out of the park. They've been serving businesses in the area for nearly 15 years, offering industry-specific expertise and local decision-making to help your business succeed. This is commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC. Highlights. Pat Murphy, all of that coming up shortly here on WTMJ.
On deck, more Brewers Extra Innings.
With a local Milwaukee team, Fifth Third Bank knows what success looks like. They've been serving businesses and individuals in the area for nearly 15 years, including a long-standing commitment to the healthcare industry. From expansion to treasury management, Fifth Third offers a full suite of financial services and solutions across the healthcare spectrum to meet the complex moments you're navigating. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for J.D. Griffiths. It was time for us. Our house was 20-plus years old, and the garage doors were getting dated. They were dinged up, and they were really hurting the value and the look of our house. That's why we called J.D. Griffiths, a local company. They've been at it in Milwaukee for more than 70 years, providing premier garage doors and building detached garages. We've got our new doors now, and they pop. I still got neighbors talking to me about it. Now, J.D. Griffiths does have an exclusive offer right now for you, the WTMJ listener. With any purchase of a new garage door, you can save $100 on your garage door opener. Just call 414-362-7222 and mention me, WTMJ's Eric Bilstead, or fill out the form at jdgriffiths.com/WTMJ to schedule your free at-home estimate and claim your deal. That number again, 414-362-7222. J.D. Griffiths.
You know, it feels good when I find something really cool and get a great deal on it. But it feels even better when I know that the money I spend actually goes directly to helping others. That's why I shop at St. Vincent de Paul, because I always find the best bargains, and the money I spend stays in Milwaukee County to help fight hunger and eliminate poverty. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton in Greenfield and 23rd in Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Extra inning thriller. Brewers win their first extra inning game. 2-1 the final, and they're still a perfect 5-0 now in one-run games. They're the only undefeated team remaining in one-run games in baseball. We talked about the manager decisions earlier in the program. Let's hear from the man himself. Here's what Pat Murphy had to say after today's win.
Freddie and Contreras were unbelievable. William on both ends. You know, the big double and the big single. What can you say? He's clutch. Big game, 1-0 game. William and Freddie. Freddie was just spectacular, and they worked together. But Contreras was, he earned his money tonight. He's going to earn a lot more, I promise you.
Even with McGill there, he went out for that meeting and sort of patted him, tapped him on the chest. He probably knows it's a lot of work for a guy second inning.
Yeah, I mean, McGill had two rehab starts. He's in plenty of shape to do it. I just didn't want him to go past 30 pitches, And after he got the first inning, as depleted as our pen is, which you guys have made note of, we're missing our closer. And, but that pen is doing the job. Their numbers might not reflect it, but they're doing a great job. And, I thought Piamps was more ready. I guess he wasn't ready. But he still got a big out for us and gave us a chance to hang in there. So hats off to him for just getting the out. But McGill was very good for 5 outs, and Freddie was unbelievable. And then, Milner, what do you say? I mean, Dr. Milner, he hasn't been his best out of spring training. He didn't have a great spring training results-wise. He wasn't throwing the ball great, but, he did it in the clutch tonight, so real thankful for him. But, great day for Contreras. Perkins, too. Don't forget this guy, we didn't know he was going to make the team, and he's been unbelievable.
In McGill's first inning, to get both Goldschmidt and Arenado to pop up on first pitch fastballs, a pretty good way to eliminate them.
Yeah, if you haven't seen McGill, it takes a minute. He's very hard, throwing very hard from 6'8", so however tall he is, 6'12", and it's tough to see. So he's improved, and he's improved, and that's a credit to our coaches and to him for being willing to do it. So it's great.
He's been fantastic, and how important that's been for the Brewers all season long. Now, I know it was a 2-1 game in extras, but there's still plenty of highlights to relive in this one. That's coming up next here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
On deck, more Brewers Extra Innings.
Tune in on Sundays at 10 a.m. for the AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show. Join AccuNet's Brian and David Wickert for the most up-to-date information on mortgage trends, along with timely news on the real estate market. The housing market is in flux, but the national headlines don't often fit local market conditions. Find out what's really happening on the front lines of real estate and mortgage financing in Wisconsin and make better decisions by tuning in every Sunday at 10 a.m. The AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show with Brian and David Wickert on WTMJ.
Trust in your family's comfort at home with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. They're the oldest family-owned HVAC company in southeast Wisconsin. 4 generations of Ciders, and their highly trained technicians provide a one-stop shop for all home and business comfort needs, including an emergency service line that's always live and a 12-year parts and labor warranty on all Daikin products. Get peace of mind by scheduling maintenance today with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. That's SEIDER, cider.com.
The deeper the hole, the more damage you're going to cause, especially if you're driving around with low tire pressure.
We're talking about potholes, and if you're not careful, they'll spring up out of nowhere and bite you right in the keister.
We've fixed broken ball joints, broken control arms, blown struts, damaged wheel alignments.
You name it, we fixed it. That wheel alignment is an adjustment of your suspension, which is a system that connects your car to its wheels.
And when your alignment's off, you get uneven, premature tire wear, and we have a fix for that too.
If a pothole has bitten you where it hurts, come to Richlands for a professional evaluation by one of our ASE certified technicians.
And at the very least, we'll make sure you have the right amount of air pressure in your tires.
And remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands, your
Due for Service.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
We find the best way to protect and uphold the reputation of our business is to hire good people and then take care of them. We really do love the people that work for us, and we care about what's in their best interest. And what that means to you is this: who do you really want on your job? Someone who's maybe underpaid or doesn't feel appreciated, might not have paid vacations or great work benefits? Our folks have all of these things and more. Vito and I make sure they feel appreciated, because happy people do happy work. There's a culture we're building here at Semper Fi that brings respect back to a very hard job. And that's why we know that our crews are going to do the kind of work that you expect. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ. Ready for this?
Get up!
This?
Get up!
And this?
Get out of here! Go!
Time for tonight's highlights. Here's Dominic Catronio.
Game 1 of the season against the Cardinals. Always entertaining for an in-Central Division matchup. Kyle Gibson for the Redbirds. Freddie Peralta, the ace for the Brewers, and he certainly pitched like it tonight. We picked things up in the second inning. Scoreless game at this point. A one-out single by Wilson Contreras, Williams' big brother. Nolan Gorman then struck out for the second out, but then Mason Wynn singled through the right side. Men on first and second in a big spot early. Jordan Walker at the plate, and a little bit of chaos ensued.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing, and he got a piece of it. No, he didn't. It goes all the way back to the backstop. Here comes the runner home. The throw to Peralta. He's out! Contreras tried to score all the way from second. He was moving on the pitch. It was a swing and a miss by Walker. William Contreras hustled all the way back to the backstop and threw it to Peralta, who is there to apply the tag on Wilson Contreras, and the inning is over. Wow, what an ending to the inning.
And with a little soft form tackle, if you will. There was no ill will there. It was no big deal. Then in the next frame, the Brewers took that momentum and took it into their offense. A one-out double by Blake Perkins, but he's still on second with 2 outs now. Sal Frelick draws a walk, and then Little Bro, Wild Bill at the plate.
The 1-0. Hard ground ball towards third and fair. Past the diving Arenado. It hits off the sidewall, and only one run will score because of that. Chugging into second is William Contreras, and the throw is not nearly in time. It's an RBI double, and the Brewers are on the board. William delivers. It's 1-0 in the third.
Josh Mauer's call here on WTMJ. Freddie got the shutdown inning in the bottom of the third and got some help from his defense in the fourth.
1-0 coming. Nootbaar lines one to second base. Tough one-hop pick by Terang. What a scoop. And he throws out Nootbaar. 1 down.
That was an incredible play, to say the least. Now we fast forward to the sixth inning. It's still only 1-0 Brewers in the lead, and Freddie Peralta dealing with a 2-out rally. An 0-2 2-out single by Nootbaar. Then a 2-2 2-out infield single by Arenado. Then they kind of pitched around Wilson Contreras. It loads the bases, 2 outs, and Freddie's pitch number 100 of the night.
As loud as it's been at any point tonight right now. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Elevated a fastball at 94. Freddie Peralta, been there, done that, veteran, and he acted like one to get himself out of a jam in the bottom of the sixth.
Lane Grindle's call here on WTMJ. Freddie did not factor into the decision. 6 shutout innings, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Didn't factor into the decision because in the ninth, the Brewers blew the save. Trevor McGill was trying for a second inning of relief. With 2 outs, he allowed a walk to Mason Wynn, then a single by pinch hitter Nate Burleson. So that puts runners, or Alec Burleson, excuse me, puts runners on first and third with 2 outs. Payamps comes in. He hits Herrera, then allowed a bases-loaded walk to Brendan Donovan, and then we go to extra innings. And once again in extras, mama, there goes that man again. It's William Contreras.
Pitch. Ground ball back through the middle. How about that? Contreras delivers a base hit into center, and around third comes Perkins. He will score. William Contreras does it again. He pumps his fist as he gets to first base with a go-ahead RBI single.
He got both RBIs tonight. All that was left to do was get a save, and the first one in the Major League career of Hobie Milner in the 10th.
Milner's 2-2. Breaking ball. Strike 3 called right over the outside corner at the knees. The Brewers win. Hobie Milner's first Major League save. What a game. 2-1 Milwaukee. They win it in 10 innings. Their first extra inning game of the season. A thriller in St. Louis.
Josh Mauer brings us home. The Brewers win 2-1. Right back after it tomorrow afternoon at 1:15. Getting right back on track trying to win another series. We'll wrap up the program after this. Get you ready for tomorrow on 620 WTMJ.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
It's the final days of Diamond's Direct Spring Sale. This is your last chance to get 20% off store-wide. Plus, book an appointment and you'll get an additional $100 off your purchase. You don't want to miss this. 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. And a huge selection of the latest styles with in-store designer appearances. 20% off ends this Sunday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Each day there's a sliver of time when you can almost breathe freely. And you feel better when you can. But you know that eventually that sliver of time closes, along with your nose. It puts a damper on your day every day. So you pop a pill or you take a spray to try to get that relief back. But it's always short-lived. And all the while in your efforts to give yourself relief, you may be making your nasal breathing problems worse. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and a simple in-office procedure from Advent called balloon sinuplasty could be the fast and convenient answer to your breathing triangle problems. Advent has been a leader in this procedure, which can be hard to find elsewhere. It's simple, there's little to no downtime, and it really can be life-changing.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ishnala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ishnala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars? each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake. Or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
All right, here's what we got for the next couple of days. Again, 1:15 first pitch both Saturday and Sunday down in St. Louis. And, of course, the Bucks are going to play on Sunday night as well. So tomorrow is the easy day. I'm on the air at noon with Brewers warm-up, getting you ready for the game. The network will take over at 12:40 for a 1:15 first pitch. Same thing on Sunday. I'm on the air at noon, 12:40 network coverage for a 1:15 first pitch. But spend all day Sunday with us, because after the game, I've got you Brewers Extra Innings, which will go straight into Bucks shoot-around before their game tips off at 6 o'clock on Sunday night against the Indiana Pacers here in Milwaukee. So you can spend all day right here on WTMJ on Sunday for both the Brewers and the Bucks. Nobody else in this market can say that, okay? Remember that. And I've got post-game shows each of the next 2 days as well. Next week, also a little bit complicated because of things with the playoffs for the Bucks. A couple of nights we might jump on over to ESPN Milwaukee, depending on tip times and what we get there. So, for instance, next week against the Pirates, Monday night will be as normal. Here we got a Brewers Extra Innings. But then on Tuesday, we're going to jump over to ESPN Milwaukee and do our whole show there next week on Tuesday. And then we'll wait on game times for Game 3 and for Game 4. We should be good for Game 3 on Friday, and then get Brewers and Yankees here on WTMJ. But that's getting way ahead of ourselves. Tomorrow, I'm on the air at noon. First pitch is at 1:15. We really hope you can join us, spend part of your weekend with us here on 620 WTMJ. So the Brewers win 2-1 in 10 innings, a thriller indeed. We learned a lot about the team tonight. My thanks to Jerry Augustine for joining us this evening, and to Max Myerson, our producer, back in our studios. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And until then, keep on swinging.
All Brewers games are on sale now. Coming up, a weekend